I am pressing the live button. We are doing this again, you guys. We are doing this again. Hopefully, you guys on YouTube can hear. Can somebody in the Discord chat please do me a favor and pretty please check? 1 2 3 1 2 3. This is Magpie speaking. Hello, hello, hello. This is attempt 2.
1 second.
And
there's a sponsor right now happening.
Thanks for watching the sponsored video.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, you can. Oh,
yeah, we can hear.
Awesome.
We can hear.
And you can hear yourselves.
Hell yeah! I just heard you speak and it was like, we're good.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the same if it's just one person talking. Oh my gosh, you guys. All right, 30 minutes late, but we are here. Damn it. And I'm not one to curse usually, but gosh darn, that was... okay. Thank you again, everybody on the chat, everybody on YouTube. Please say thank you to JC Fergie, who is...
Wait.
What?
Someone has built the...
Okay, I just want to say thank you to Fergie, who helped with the live thing situation with the technology. So, yeah, we're doing this. Okay, so... Welcome everybody
someone built the Royal Academy in Minecraft.
Unrelated, but yes, that is awesome.
What was so important for Frank Castle to bust down my door and wait me to death?
What?
No, I mean, I am giving a talk to thank Fergie, who helped me very much. So please do not interrupt while I'm doing this very important thing, Noemi. As it is, though, I am happy to see that things have worked out and that we can continue on.
Yay.
Yeah, so this is the plan for today. We actually settled on doing the read-along for the first chapter of this PrePub because there is quite a lot to talk about this PrePub and we only have an hour and something to talk about it. So how about we just jump in and get some reading done, and then we'll talk about all the things that are awesome about this one and share a slew of memes that Red Tempest has prepared for us and other bookworms have prepared for us. So how about we do that? Gang, are you ready?
Have fun with the reading, everybody.
Thanks. So, reading today, we have Rosamine will be read by Little Purple Butterfly. Kadir will be reading Ferdinand. Plamen will be reading Sylvester, Random Others, and Cornelius. Vincent will be reading Ob Dunkelfelger. And Jade will be reading Letizia and Lizalita. And Leonor will be read by yours truly. Yes. Right.
I have one last thing to say.
What is it?
Can you welcome new member?
We have a new member.
In this chat right now?
Yeah. We have a new member?
Yes, somebody did the white thing and immediately after the stream was down, joined the Discord.
Oh my goodness, hold on. Jazz1178.6, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us.
It's already in live chat.
I am so happy you joined us. So we're gonna do this and I'm excited. So, okay, let's do this. First chapter is going to be Dunkelfelger's request.
Bum, bum, bum.
Rosamine, close your eyes for a moment and allow me to guide you. You will need to supply the tool with your mana.
Right.
Took you long enough. Why weren't you in your office? Herschel sent a response from the Royal Academy. She said that there are people she didn't recognize near the building.
She really doesn't trust you. Hmm?
This is more due to with her fixation on her research.
It was wise to leave Raymond there.
Something's going on with the audio. People are getting like really bad mic echo.
There's really bad echo, but like, goodness gracious, this is not going our way today.
I can't hear anything, but I think it's because I'm on my phone.
I'll try 1 second. Oh my god, it's so echoey.
Seriously? I'm not getting anything.
No, it's like really, really, really echoey.
That's insane.
Huh.
Huh.
Weird.
The echo is like 5 times.
Oh my god, wait. Magpie, can you talk for a bit?
Magpie?
Okay, no, it's not echoey anymore, but Magpie? Magpie?
Mm.
Can you talk for a bit? Because people are saying we can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now? Can you
Inside.
hear me? Can you hear me?
In Discord for now, fine.
How about in YouTube?
I mean, YouTube
Hello,
seems to
hello.
sound like it's like
So, let me go back to the first page. As soon as we arrived at the Archduke's office...
Yeah, Magpie, we cannot hear you.
Okay. All right.
The echo's gone. Okay, the echo's gone.
Okay. So the echo is gone. And are we good now? Okay, so people are saying we can hear you. Okay, it's good now. All right. So, okay. Do you guys mind very much if we start
Okay, we hear
from the top?
now. Yep.
Yeah?
All right.
Everything's good now.
Okay.
Yay.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome.
These mana communication devices are really something.
Aren't they? I need some water mirror magic here. All right. It only took 7 minutes, but okay, here we go. Dunkelfager's request. We're starting from the top, everybody. I am gonna get this done. As soon as we arrived at the Archduke's office, a scholar informed me that the magic tool meant for emergency communication between obs was flashing. Ferdinand stepped forward, then gestured toward it. The size and shape were exactly as I remembered, but there was a cover of sorts over the top that hid the pool of water.
Rosamine, close your eyes for a moment and allow me to guide you. You will need to supply the tool with your mana.
Did you hear me? Right.
I closed my eyes and immediately felt Ferdinand take my hand. He touched it against something, the water mirror, I assumed, told me to start channeling my mana into it, and then instructed me to open my eyes. I could see Sylvester in the pool of water before me.
Took you long enough? Why weren't you in your office? Herschel sent a response from the Royal Academy. She said that there were people that she did. She said that there were people she didn't recognize near the Scour building.
Herschel was approaching the climax of some excellent research, so she had planned to disregard Sylvester's orders entirely. The suspicious individuals had only been spotted because Raymond, who had suddenly lost access to Aaronspach's dorm, had decided to start sleeping near the Scholar building. He had reported the strange sight to Herschel, who had then verbalized that Sylvester was probably telling the truth and sent ordinances all over the place. It really was unusual to see strangers not wearing duchy capes at the Royal Academy.
She really doesn't trust you,
This has more to do with her fixation on her research.
It was wise to leave Raymond there.
Ferdinand said with a satisfied nod. I started to wonder whether anyone had contacted Raymond and explained why he wasn't able to... By the way, Raymond being clueless, unable to go back home. It's so sad, but so on brand with Raymond. Hapless Raymond. God bless Raymond. I started to wonder whether anyone had contacted Raymond and explained why he wasn't able to enter his dormitory all of a sudden. I assumed not. So Buster continued.
Hersher contacted the professor still at the Royal Academy. She also sent word to the Royal Family. Their response was immediate, meaning there are now Black Capes stationed at the Academy.
Right. That's good.
The royals must have relaxed their guard at the sovereignty to send troops to the Royal Academy. Dunkelfelger's volunteers had already crushed Lanzenave's troops, and Sylvester had shared what we knew about our enemy's silver cloth and instant death poison, so the invaders would surely be suppressed in no time. Sylvester gave a serious frown and shook his head.
This situation isn't good at all, Rosma. That's the very reason I treat you like this.
Come again?
The library you were worried about, Solange, nobody being able to reach her. She might have been caught up in the commotion, or maybe she's just coincidentally unable to respond. Hershey was going to check on her, but she received an urgent ordinance from Raufen telling her not to step foot outside her room.
I said nothing in response. Small, dark spots swarmed my vision.
Something big is happening at the Royal Academy. I wish I could do more for you, but this report is the most RFS can provide. We don't have any manpower or resources we can spare you.
I thank you ever so much for this information. As we are of Aaron's batch, do not have a dormitory supervisor right now. This information might not have reached us otherwise.
The moment our conversation was over, I deactivated the magic tool and looked back at Ferdinand.
I'm going to the Royal Academy Library.
Ferdinand shook his head. Kadir! Hello?
Oh shit. This is not something I permit. How do you expect to leave Arensbach in your current state?
He was referring to the fact that I couldn't ride my high beast, but still, I was deeply concerned about Solange, Schwartz, and Weiss.
I should put Schwartz and Weiss in combat mode. They can protect Professor Solange.
I would simply need to pour mana into the face stone buttons that decorated their clothes.
I suspect that the two Schumels are quite strong. My own played an impact role during the battle at the temple.
Ferdinand scoffed. He had researched... Whoops. Ferdinand scoffed. He had researched Schwartz and Weiss when designing the base schematics for my battle-ready Schumels.
These are magic tools made by the Zent of the distance past, the slaughtered Zent candidates. Mere riffraff would not stand a chance against them.
They currently are strong, and that means Professor Solange must be safe, right?
I wanted some reassurance, but Ferdinand cast his eyes down.
As I understand it, the two Schumels cannot enter combat mode without mana and an order from their master. I am unsure what Professor Solange would manage to accomplish on her own.
He shook his head and his voice took on a much colder hue.
Nevertheless, I simply cannot allow you to leave Arensbach. How much can you really do for her as you are now?
Before I could respond, the emergency contact magic tool started to flash again.
Dunkelfelger? We shall agree to speak with them. Rosamine, close your eyes.
He took my hand and pressed it against the mirror's face stone, causing my fellow Ob to appear on the surface of the water.
Ob Ehrensbach, I am delighted to see you well in this most suspicious day. Hannelo reported to me about your recent battles. She said in no uncertain terms that your performance was splendid and a sight to behold. Few words can describe the astonishment that took me when I saw that every one of your volunteers has returned alive.
This was the first time I'd ever seen Ob Dunkelfelger speak so politely. I was so taken aback that I could only blink at him in response, though I realized blink at him in response.
I realized we had busy times. A most pressing matter has required me to contact you. Are you aware that it's happening at the Royal Academy?
Arensbach is missing its dormitory supervisor, but we did just receive a message of Arenfest. He told us the suspicious individuals from Lanzanave, I would assume, were spotted near the Scholars Building, and that both the royal family and the Sovereign's Knight Order had been made aware. He also explained that Professor Solange of the library has not been responding to attempts to contact her. I would wish to confirm her safety sooner rather than later, but as the Sovereign Knights Order has been dispatched, I assume people are already looking into it.
That seems unlikely. According to Ralphin, your dormitory supervisor, the Sovereign Knights sent to the Royal Academy are working with the intruders.
Excuse me?
That Linde was seen amongst the suspicious individuals, but the Knights made no attempt to capture her.
Raffin hadn't known whether the Order was working for or against the Crown, so he had sent word of the situation back to his duchy and requested orders.
To make the matters worse, we found yourself unable to contact the Zend at this current moment.
Does that mean...
Lady Rosamine, we heartily request that you, the legitimate Zend candidate and the owner of the countryside, do everything in your power to defend the Royal Academy. Outsiders must not be allowed within its grounds. Herr Jürgen-Schmidt, that is an undeniable law.
I swallowed dryly.
It is not the duty of the Zend.
Ask us to take action. We will do as you command. As the Zend swords, Dunkelfelder shall grant the Academy's safety.
That is not something we can respond to here and now.
Ferdinand interjected, having addressed the Ob before I could even open my mouth.
Rosamine might have obtained the countryside, but she has died Ernstbach's foundation and therefore become its Ob. She cannot give such an order.
Lord Ferdinand, do you not understand the importance of the Royal Academy? Outsiders are ravaging it as we speak. This is no time to be so passive.
Detland would need the Gudgerside to become Zent, which meant the Royal Academy's library was the most dangerous place of all. I suspected it was receiving the same treatment as when the Lanzanavians ravaged the Arensbach's noble quarter, which made me even more worried about Solange and the two Schumels, who must have been there all alone.
Professor Solange is in the library, and what about Professor Herscher? She's at the Royal Academy too.
Herscher had told various people about the outsiders and requested the aid of both the royal family and the Sovereign Knights Order. If the knights truly had turned coat, then she and Raymond were at great risk as well.
Professor Herscher might be safe now, but she's still in the dormitory dangerous position. If Ab Dunkelferger is offering his aid, should we not accept it and go straight to the Royal Academy?
Fool. You are in the most dangerous situation of all.
Ferdinand snapped. He then sized up the Ob on the other side of the water mirror, his expression harsh, before continuing in a quiet voice.
I do not deny the urgency of our situation. The Royal Academy's importance is abundantly clear to me, but I still cannot back your proposal. If you did act on your orders, but proved unable to rescue the royal family before Detland Group acquired the Grudgerside and died the country's foundation, then Rosamine would be branded a traitor and insurgent.
Ferdinand added under his breath that the royal family might not even genuinely thank me for saving them. In his words, they would most likely take advantage of the opportunity to bring me and the Gutterside into their ranks, declaring that they would charge me with treason or something equally unreasonable otherwise. Thinking back on my dealings with the country's royals, I couldn't help but concur.
I wonder, how will the Zen so-called sword respond when its petition is found to have put Rosamine in such grave predicament? You will abandon her to side with the royals, I suspect?
Nan, aren't you being unbelievably rude right now? They wouldn't do something so cruel. And when they made the proposal in the first place.
This is the reason you are called overkind and naive.
Ferdinand sneered, then returned to his attention to the water mirror.
The Ob of a duchy with as long as a history as Dunkelfelgar has surely made many crucial decisions for the sake of his people. I do not blame you. Weakness is not permissible in your role, but I will not allow you to cast Rosamine aside.
No matter how dire the circumstances, Dunkelfelder cannot send his knight to the sovereignty without being ordered to. Do you intend to sit back and watch that Linde and the Lanzinavs run amok until the Fortune obtain their own countryside? As royal family cannot be reached, we must turn to the Zen candidate who sent us into battle. Only she can save Jürgen Schmidt.
The Ob had said a lot, but he hadn't refuted the claim that he would cruelly abandon me. He had asserted that his duchy would protect the Royal Academy, but not that he would do anything to aid me in the worst-case scenario. On top of that, he had addressed me only as a Zent candidate, as though deliberately trying to put some distance between us.
Not quite.
At once I turned to look at him. I wasn't the only one with the Book of Mestionora. There was someone far better suited to becoming the Zent, whose book had just recently been filled with all the information he would need to rule.
Surely he won't.
There didn't exist a world in which Ferdinand wanted to become the Zent. His dream was to live peacefully in Arensbach with his various laboratories. I clung to his chest, terrified of what he was about to say.
Ferdinand, wait. What? Not.
You shall take the throne, Dunkelfelger.
Huh?
Excuse me?
The Ob replied, equally as shocked. My mind went blank as I tried to process this completely unexpected turn of events. I gazed up at Ferdinand, seeking an explanation of some kind, and saw that his lips were twisted in a smile.
Did you not say Lady Hannelore spoke to you? Rosamine is the divine avatar of Miss Junora, here to return the Grutchosite to Jurgensmith and receive praying to the gods. Her duty is not to become the Zent, but to grant the Grutchosite to whomever she deems most worthy.
I didn't know what to say. Ferdinand was spouting absolute nonsense, all while looking at the Ob dead in the eye. He continued.
Such a great demonstration of strength in the presence of a divine avatar is the same as agreeing to accept the Grutchosite from Rosamine. And as the Sovereign Knight's Order has sided with our enemy, if your attempts to save the royal family end in failure, then you will need to take the throne. You are welcome to petition Rosamine again, but only if you are ready for such consequences.
The man in the water mirror stared at us, stunned.
But I am Dankefelder's Ob.
And Rosamine is Arnbach.
Ferdinand replied with a thin smile.
Do you sincerely wish to save Jurgensmith from this crisis? No matter the cost, you are merely using Rosamine so that you can rampage through the academy. If we are to continue this conversation, I must know your true intentions.
I was reading the subtle undertones of this conversation loud and clear. Just as Ob Dunkelfelger wanted to protect his duchy and people, we wanted to protect Arensbach and ourselves.
I shall say it again. There's a chance you'll emerge from this incident as the next Zent. You'll need someone to replace you as an op in such case, so I'd advise you discuss it with your first wife before we take things any further. I should also note that very few duchies would appreciate you acting alone in this matter. Have you broached your intentions with them?
Ferdinand wasn't, quote-unquote, advising the Ob at all. He was stating unequivocally that this wasn't a decision to be made lightly.
And above all else, Rosamine has just returned from Ehrenfest. Her health would not allow her to march into another battle so soon. We also prioritize the returns of your volunteers, so Arnsbach's knights have yet to come back from Menderwald. Even if we do accept your proposal, we would not be prepared to act on it.
He took my hand and declared,
We shall await your response tomorrow at third bell.
But Ditter.
Perfect outburst.
I love it.
I felt like they were saying, you're out of order. No, you're out of order.
Yeah, it was that situation.
But I really do agree with Rosamine's comment. Is like, this is why you're naive, child.
Yeah. I'm glad that she had Ferdinand to, like, protect her, because she would have just stormed right in. She definitely would have.
Yeah.
But wifey also tried to protect Ferdinand when she thought that he will sacrifice himself.
Yeah. Let's see. Where was I? We shall await
rant.
response. Okay. His rant finally over, Ferdinand quietly asked me to deactivate the water mirror. The Ob had yet to recover from his confusion, so I gave him a simple good day before closing my eyes and doing as he instructed.
That should give us a little more time, but it means that we will need to complete my brew tonight without fail.
Ferdinand said with a sigh once he made sure we were alone. Then he glared at me and snapped.
Do not be so quick to accept the petitions from other duchies. You have resolved to become the next Ob Arensbach. You must challenge anyone who calls you a Zent candidate.
I'm worried about the library, and no one can reach Professor Solange.
Dunkelfelger's intentions aside, I was extremely concerned about what was happening at the Royal Academy. So concerned, in fact, that I would have rushed straight over there if not for my current lack of strength and stamina. Strength and mana. The aid of a greater duchy would only boost my chances of success.
I suspect she is fine. Ordinances have not refused to fly to her, and we can also trust Uncle Fego to take action. There is not a duchy that will remain inactive when they can take matters into their own hands. I cannot say how long the preparations will take, but the Ob did not speak out against my target of Third Bell tomorrow. Consider tonight a most crucial opportunity to get some rest. We might not have another for quite some time to come. Thus, rather than worrying about everything else, I would advise you take a moment to focus on your own health. You teleported so many people today that you need not just potions, but a good night's sleep as well.
But I might have more bad dreams.
I muttered. My body was crying out for rest, but I was afraid of what it would entail. Ferdinand wore a slight frown.
Do you need another potion to get you to sleep?
Not one that gives me terrifying nightmares. I can manage a can't imagine a worse way to wake up.
As much as your health has improved, you are on the verge of collapse. I suspect you will need potions just to make it through dinner. Do not put such great faith in your stamina when it barely meets the bare minimum to begin with.
Ferdinand then handed me a kindness-infused potion. He was right about my health, so my only choice was to accept it. Over dinner, Leticia told us the events that had culminated in Detlin's furious letter. Some people had tried to open the door in the Lanzanave estate from the other side, and the knights in the Royal Academy's teleportation room had sent ordinances asking what was going on. Letizia had refrained from providing any answers, having wanted to consult me first, which had eventually earned us that colorful correspondence from Detland.
Continue to ignore them. Make sure they receive no information of value. Did you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Understood.
Letizia replied with a nod. She looked tired and unwell, and not just because she was busy. She wore the same strained, cornered expression I'd seen from Melchior that morning. It wasn't the kind of visage one would expect of a child.
Oh, this fish.
Fishermen saved sent them to the castle with words of gratitude. Lord Ferdinand informed me of your preferences, Lady Rosemine, so I did my best to follow them. Are these meals to your taste?
Most of the dishes being served were covered in so many spices that I couldn't even tell what was buried under them. Instead, my eyes were drawn to some plainly salted white fish. Leticia had apparently been uneasy about serving something so simple, but she swallowed her fears and persevered.
My appreciation of this recipe is considered strange even in Ehrenfest, but it simplicity really highlights the flavor of the fish. You must have asked the chef to prepare it for me, despite the seeming so unusual to them. Thank you, and thank you, Ferdinand, for still remembering my taste after all this time.
I consider it the best choice while you are still unaccustomed to Arensbach cuisine.
Indeed, the overabundance of spice customary of Arensbach cooking would have been far too stimulating for me. I took only very small portions of the other dishes, but devoured the salted fish, even with my lack of appetite. I was satisfied with my meal, but the same couldn't be said for Letizia. Though she spoke with a smile, her cutlery barely moved at all.
Lady Letizia, could you come here for a moment? Bring one of your guard knights, if you would.
She blinked at me a few times before she complied. The knight accompanying her tensed up in preparation for what was about to come.
You were dragged into something awful, yet you have continued to work so astonishingly hard, even in your absence, even in our absence, your dedication to protecting Aaron Spatch would not be ignored. It is with gratitude in my heart that I ask to grant you soft turns blessings so that you might rest more easily tonight.
Letizia's expression changed, and she shook her head.
Waste your mana on me, Lady Rosemine. The sentiment is enough.
Is that so? Very well then.
Letizia went to take her leave, but I couldn't let I sorry, but I wouldn't let her get away so easily. I took out my stab and said,
O Turn, God of Dreams, may Lady Letizia be blessed with a pleasant sleep and joyous dreams.
the white light of a blessing rained down upon her, and at once her eyes grew heavy. Leticia wavered in place for a moment, then started to collapse. Her guard knight caught her before she could reach the ground.
For such a minor blessing to have worked this well, she must have been days unable to sleep. Please give her time to rest.
As you wish, Lady Rosemine.
The knight picked up Letizia and exited the room. Leticia's attendants hurried along behind them.
Rosamine.
Ferdinand said, extending a hand to me like it was second nature to him. He must have mastered the art of escorting women during his year and a half with Detland. A tremendous win for the old adage that practice makes perfect. Ho ho.
And
he had given me one hand and then used the other to cover my eyes.
O Shashan, God of Dreams, may Lady Rosamine be blessed with a pleasant sleep and joyous dreams. Chloroform.
The dark spots in my vision were suddenly filled with white light. My mind cleared and the immense weight of my shoulders vanished. By the time I'd realized it, I couldn't feel my feet anymore. I was already being carried away like Letizia.
Rest.
Ferdinand
Do not,
urged me.
do not fight Shashan's blessing. You will not have any bad dreams tonight.
Are you awake, Lady Rosemine?
Lizalita asked, a hand on her chest.
You look so much better.
I was feeling better too, refreshed even. Schlaftrum's blessing really had given me a good night's sleep. We had decided to eat breakfast in our room, so my attendants brought me a plate of salted fish. They really must have thought I loved it or something. I started eating while my retainers explained that last night, while I was asleep, they had received a lecture from Ferdinand about my current state and the best way to deal with it.
You were also made aware of the dangerous situation at the Royal Academy, and the request of the Uncle Figure made of you.
We knights were ordered to be ready to sortie. at any moment. If you accept the app's request, I suspect you need to come as well, Lady.
Before the Civil War?
Oh, is that me?
I don't know.
Oh, that's Leonor.
Oh, sorry. I don't have the highlighted version. Thank you. Before the Civil War, the Zent used to travel around Jürgenschmidt each year to open and close all the country gates. Kernbridges has been closed for a very long time, though, so this isn't something we've ever experienced. Using a Guttersheit, one could apparently teleport straight to the sovereignty. Teleporting from the Lanzeneva state to the sovereignty would essentially be like diving headfirst into enemy headquarters. Not that we could even use a teleporter right now. I would need to brew registration breaches with my mana for us to pass through Arnsbach's dorm, so we plan to teleport via our country gate instead. As the Ob, I would naturally need to be there.
As you have eaten, Lady Rosemine, you are permitted to rest until third bell. I even have an Arnsbach book for you to read.
Oh my. Would that really be wise for me to spend this time reading? I assume Ferdinand prepared it for me, so it must be for the best, right?
As I stared at the book now sitting on my desk, I tried to remember the last time I'd sat down to read.
According to Lord Ferdinand, you are to rest as much as you can before Obdunkelfeger contacts you again.
End of chapter. All right. So, thank you everybody for reading. We have some stuff that we can talk about here. We're going to talk about the other stuff that comes in the other chapters. But first of all, I love the memes that were passed around here. They were shared on the Discord. So we have the blessing, and you see Rosamine gives Lady Letizia a blessing. And then it's like Ferdinand's like, take notes, take notes, take notes. Because he does the same exact thing for Rosamine. So that way she doesn't have to drink any potions or whatever. So we got that. And also, what else do we have here? Anything else that struck you here, you guys?
I don't like Leticia at all.
Oh,
yeah.
why?
I have a 7-year-old niece that I tutor on an average basis, and Leticia is the same age. And my niece would never do all the things that Leticia's done.
Oh.
Like, she's been put in those type of situations before, and she has listened. And so has my 3-year-old niece. And so I think Rosemine doesn't really understand children and how smart they are at that age. So,
Yeah.
and they can understand complicated stuff. They're doing like pre-algebra in 2nd grade right now. So, yeah. So, I mean, like it makes, and she comes from a noble society where she should be like more advanced than even my niece.
Yeah, for real. So do you think she kind of babies her a lot? Like tries to
Yes,
give her many outs?
And everybody's been telling her that. Like, Ferdinand's told her that, Eckhart's told her that. You know, they've all told her that. And they're like, we're in this situation because we babied her because we listened to you.
Oh, yeah. That is true. By the way, welcome, Jazz. It's happy to have you, and you sound great. And yeah. So I honestly, I haven't had much opportunity to work with children after, like, the last time I worked with kids, I don't know, it was a while ago. But there are some kids, like, that would strike you as very precautious, whatever. They're very
What?
Not they're very they almost act like little adults, and that's because they are exposed to like adults, and you know people don't talk down to them.
Well, the culture that the author is, she's Japanese, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I taught English in China to second and third graders. And so they're all little mini adults. They understand complex things. They walk on their own for like miles home, you know, or to their tutoring sessions. So, and these are kids that aren't raised in like noble society where they have a bunch of tutors and stuff like that. So, I mean, she has no reason. It's just that she was babied by everybody, and that's why she's like that.
That's a very good point. And we have to take it into consideration because these kids, they're in training for real important socializing. Once they hit 10, they're in the Royal Academy and they're basically on their own. The parents really can't, they're noble parents or whatever. Adults are not really supposed to get involved with what's going on in the Royal Academy. They're practicing.
One more thing I'd like to mention is that 7 is an age you can be put in prison for the rest of your life for homicide.
Oh my god.
Wait,
what?
Yeah, 7 to 8.
I did not
was the
know
first
that.
time I've ever heard of that.
I never knew of that. Huh.
Wait, in what country?
US.
That's the same.
Wait, I thought the age was like 14.
No, that's Japan.
Wow.
Japan is 14. Actually, you can kill whoever you want as a child in Japan, and you'll get away with it as long as you're under 14.
That is terrifying information. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so 7 and 8, you're like 7 to 8 or whatever, have been incarcerated. Like they go to juvie and they're going to go to adult prison once they're 18. So that's in the U.S.
Well,
so
that's
so imagine.
That's
That's
fairly
what I mean. Like
terrifying, yeah.
kids know, like they could do premeditated murder at the age of 7 or 8. So. I mean, it is quite possible. So I don't really look at these children as, babies,
Yeah.
So they should know better.
All right. So straying, that was a nice and interesting tangent about, homicide of children. But yeah, like there's many things that we could say about Letizia and where her training went wrong. You are correct that certainly Rosamine had some influence as to why they weren't tougher on her. So that was definitely something that came back to bite not just her but Ferdinand, especially Ferdinand. So, well, Kit's gonna have to learn from that, and hopefully she does learn from that and she redeems herself, because she really does have to make up for the big huge blunder she made.
I think Rosamine needs to learn from that, and I don't think she has.
Yeah, Rosamine. Rosamine is a curious case where she's an adult, yet she's also a child, yet she's like not either. She's just a gremlin. We'll see what happens. So far, she's already is already being forced to deal with some harsh realities. One of them, like being thrust into war and in the middle of a fight, literally left her with PTSD. So, who knows what the ensuing battle at the Royal Academy is going to end up doing to her. Well, we'll have to find out.
The incongruity between what Rosamine should act like as an adult from our world and how she acts comes through the fact that she's literally going through a second puberty. So that might affect her somehow.
Probably.
I think what's also wrong with Rosamine is that she wasn't a normal adult in our world.
Yeah.
She was to herself. She didn't like talk to people. So I mean, she's not gonna know how other people work.
Yeah.
I mean, they even mentioned Wilfrid was going to get killed because, and he was like around Leticia's age, actually lower than that, because he made a tiny mistake, and she made a huge mistake.
Yeah,
but
it's a rough world.
But even then, it's like, even if they would have, Leticia's training would have been harsher, would that really have stopped her from making that mistake? But a lot of human learning is not through exactly what you're you're taught, but what you experience. And if she doesn't experience anything that to bring her into thinking or being wary of that special little thing, or if she's not given knowledge that this little toy could actually be used as a poison, because that's something that Ferdinand felt. He didn't tell her that little toy could be used as a dangerous weapon. He figured it out, but she's too innocent. She doesn't have any experience to be able to make that link yet.
Yeah. Now let's
Well,
talk
he wasn't
about,
even telling her that her person was probably already dead.
Yeah. Now let's talk
He should have
about
been
the part where they are talking to Dunkelfelger. What are some of the things that struck you here? I personally thought that the fact that Rosamund was really close to doing something like pretty big mistake in immediately accepting the obs telling her like, come on, just send us out to fight because we are gonna be your soldiers. But she is being led by emotion, and again, this is a major, I guess you would consider a major flaw in her character, that she's very single-minded about protecting who she considers to be vulnerable. So we have, we just discussed Letizia. She wants to protect Letizia because she's a child, she's vulnerable. Also, we had earlier, back in part 3, we had Charlotte, how that ended up with her being in a jury for 2 years. And now, what would have happened if Ferdinand hadn't stopped her from... if she had just gone ahead, done what Dunkelfelder told her, and then things would have gone disastrously. Yeah, Rosamund has... I think that's one of her main characteristics that puts her in a pretty big danger. She trusts too much on... She's naive. She trusts too much on appearances, like... the child needs to be protected, lets down her guard easily, and just dives headfirst into action without considering things. Do you guys think that if I don't know if Dunkelfelger should have been a little bit more circumspect about his wording, or was he acting on his own, or was Sieglinde acting for him? Because I kind of feel like he was just thirsty for Ditter. Like, he just wanted to have an excuse to Ditter. Do you think...
I think everybody thinks that Dunkelfelders are like, blackheads. But they are also nobles and grew up in noble society, and they know how to do politics. I truly believe that he knows what he's doing. Rosamund doesn't know. She doesn't get it. And I'm surprised she's alive without Ferdinand for that year that he wasn't there. She sees she can't even touch a face stone right now, and she wants to go be that, and she's gonna agree to him. Like it doesn't make any sense. He knows what he's doing. He just wants to have it his way. He wants Ferdinand to be with mine and Zent, and have his own happy world, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think it was just the fastest way this way.
Yeah.
He wanted Ditter and he wanted it now, and this was the fastest way. Until Ferdinand said, stop!
Yeah.
He was jealous of his daughter getting to go play Ditter.
Right? Yeah, he did mention, my daughter Hannelore told me about your great deeds and whatever. So I do feel like part of it was him just wanting to rush headlong into things, and Ferdinand cooling both Rosamund and Dunkelfelger. Like, hold your horses, come on, think about this. If things go bad, Dunkelfelger's gonna they're not fighting for you, they're fighting for the Zent. So
but
I think there's another I think there's another issue with that, because the third wife of the Zent, she was from Dunkelfelder, and she went against everybody from Dunkelfelder, and they had no choice but to follow her. That's the reason why he got that backing, and they weren't supposed to, because he wasn't Zent at the time. They're the Swordist Zent. They're supposed to be neutral, and they came out of that neutrality for her. So, I mean, it's still something that they are ashamed of, and it's not really talked about a lot.
Yeah.
and also there are just so many chances to transform enemy soldiers into face stones.
Yeah.
Like, how often can you really do it at your lifetime? Like, normally, never.
Yeah.
And now he has a chance.
Yeah, to actually defend a proper treasure. So yeah, I mean,
Just
it's
making face stones.
yeah, making face stones. Don't tell that to Rosamine, the poor dear.
No, I say it this way because of YouTube.
So that was this first chapter. Anything else you guys want to talk about the first chapter before we talk about the second and third chapter for this pre-pub?
Well, I can mention my little bit because it's going to cover us. Like, we just saw that Rosamine gave Strafron's blessing to Letizia. Ferdinand gave it to Rosamine. Then next chapter, Rosamine's going to give it to the other ones. Like, they're doing that like in the Archduke offices where there's other Arnsbach nobles standing around. It's like right now, I just want a chapter from some random Arnsbach noble that's been there. That's been there during the Lazanev attack. It's like, oh shit, the previous nobility left us to the previous leadership left us to the mercy of Lazanev to be turned into face stones. Now this outside group comes in, takes over the foundation, saves us. Now her retainers, they all use the sword of Iwagleeb to freeze the ship into the ocean, to protect our women and little girls that have been kidnapped, and recover our face stones of our fallen comrades, family members, and and now they're in the castle, casting blessings left and right. What the hell just happened here?
Yeah, they should be. This is nothing. They ain't seen nothing yet. Basically,
I think the
they have
author
to get
got
used
the
to
idea
this.
Something even more amazing.
I think the author got the sleep idea from chain mail because they passed it on to each other.
Chainmail, yeah.
It has the same feeling like a pillow fight. Basically, a pillow fight, and then your parents come in the room. It's like, what is going on here?
Yeah, so it's like for Arnsbach noble, their entire world is like turning upside down, from going from a terrible administrative situation where their archduchess didn't give a shit, didn't care, didn't want to do work, or was plotting shit behind them, which they now know they were plotting against themselves. And now it's like, what the hell is happening here?
By the way,
I have like one pet peeve about this chapter though, like with the sleeping stuff. Like it's like we've seen how much like people are willing to just like abuse like certain spells like wash in combat. Why the hell hasn't like a forcefully sleep spell been used in like combat either? Like especially against like someone you're trying to capture or like shut down.
Same thing.
We see it later on in the next couple of chapters that Ferdinand gave Rosamine another blessing, but because she wasn't sleep deprived, she didn't fall asleep right away. She just kind of like, when she went to sleep, she had a nice sleep. So it doesn't work like instant sleep. It just happened that Ferdinand, Rosamine, and Letizia were just so sleep deprived. It worked like that. By the way, I wanna mention Thomas, who just supported via a super chat. Thank you, darling. And here's a whole bunch of hearts for me. Says Ditter, I want to play Dutter. Dutter.
Some magical melatonin then.
Yeah. So the Schlafturm's blessing is like a melatonin. It doesn't work like a wash-in where you can see the physical effects immediately. So that's what. Also,
But that's only because they don't use enough mana. They use just enough to fall asleep. What if Rosamine or Ferdinand use the majority of their mana? They can put at least a couple of soldiers into sleep.
Maybe. Probably they might use this in I would like to see it. If it's possible, then I would love to see them like casting a blessing on like a whole bunch of guards and they all just fall asleep at their jobs. But it would again require a lot of mana.
Makes me wonder, what if they change the spell to say, instead of joyous dreams, they say terrible nightmares?
Oh,
yeah, but then this would not be a blessing.
That doesn't have any productive benefit though.
Well, I don't know if that would work because her copy paste Remember how she messed up when she created it and she couldn't change it? I don't think it would work.
And also, one of the things that Kazuki Sensei has said is whenever you cast a curse upon a person in this world, you have to be prepared to receive the repercussions, or like kind of like it kind of bounces back on you. So they have such things as like curses from, like, say, Chaosifer, who's like basically like, she's not necessarily a bad person, but they basically cast like chaos upon your life, or some kind of like challenge or disruption in your life, but you have to be prepared to receive as much. So who knows how there's a lot of this world that we still want to explore, we should explore, especially now that we're going into warfare. I'd love to see some really unique uses of this magic. I mean, Rosamine already used so many weird things in her ditters, so there's no reason why we're not going to see more craziness in the next couple of chapters when they do fight in Lanzenave, or in the Royal Academy.
My Empress
I'm
Magpie.
smelling that we are on the verge of spoilers.
No, we're not on the verge of spoilers. I'm just saying it could happen. I mean, every ditter brings something interesting.
My Empress Magpie, my lady Nomi wanted to tell you that we have a new member on the server again.
Oh, Captain Jonesy! At last you joined us. Captain Jonesy has actually been a member for quite some time. They just haven't hopped aboard on the Discord server, but yes, Captain Jonesy has been a monthly supporter for some time. So thank you, and I hope that you join us. Are you here? Did you hop on the line? Join us. I hope they can join us. So thank you for your support, by the way. It's always really awesome to have new voices and new points of views in this conversation. So for real, join us. Let's see. Oh, Crusher, your themes. So what's this? Red Tempest has prepared like a bunch of memes for us, so I'm just putting them in. So another thing that I really like though was like in the next day after she wakes up and she goes about her business. There's Captain Jonesy. Hello, welcome. How are you? Happy to see you.
Hi.
Hey. So one of the things that that happens at third bell, we get the Dunkelfelger calling in, not just by himself, but with his wife, the Dunkelfelger Remling Wrangler, First Lady, Lady Sieglund, who is amazing. I love her so much. And he basically, Dunkelfelger is like, you know what, I don't care. You know, all these other duchies, they require like 3 days of preparation. How dare they not be battle ready at all times? Like, dude, Dunkelfelger is like Dunkelfelger. They're always ready for action. Like any other duchy.
I kind of think he's right though. Like every country has their military ready to go. So I think he's kind of right.
They should have at least a core, like a set of
somebody, you know,
like a defense. If they don't, they're really lax. I mean, you would think after a civil war that they would at least be a little bit more prepared. But I kind of also think that people are just kind of like waiting it out to see, and they're like, Dunkelfelger is hot-blooded. They can jump in on the fray and take the damage. We're not gonna do that. So I do think that they were just, in a way, they were kind of like stalling. They wanted to see what was going on before they jumped in. Because this was like, nobody wants to jump into war immediately, especially when it comes to like Zents.
Well, they didn't have to worry about that because Dunkelfelger is leading the charge. It doesn't matter for everybody else. Because and the reason why they even mentioned the other duchies is because, you know, they didn't want to deal with politics after you didn't give me any credit for this. So, I mean, I feel like all those duchies, we can steal their foundation tomorrow.
It should matter to other duchies. The other duchies should also have a skin in the game. If not for anything else, to get the brownie points with the royal family, whichever family happened to be that.
Makes sense. Yeah. So it could be that they're not ready and they're just being lazy bums. It could be that they're stalling. Either way, they really should have sent some kind of support. I have a feeling that this thing is gonna go quick. I don't know if in 3 days it'll be over, but knowing how efficient and how Dunkelfelger plays Ditter for morning calisthenics, as Thomas 70 says, they might just execute everybody in like the space of one night. I don't know. Who knows how it's gonna happen? And by the time they're like, okay, we're ready, like there'll be nothing left to do. Go ahead.
I'm surprised that Wendechi drew it's
Drow and
the
Shaw?
people who are like Ravenclaws.
Drow and Shaw?
Like they're like, yeah. I'm surprised that they're not involved, at least tactically.
Honestly, me too. Since their daughter is married to royalty, right, Plamen?
Yeah,
Klausenberg as well.
I was thinking exactly the same thing because the daughter of the current half of Dranwich, it's part of royal family. Why not join Dunkelfelger in that case?
Right. I think there might be a lot of stuff going on that we probably don't know. I think there's also miscommunication. Look, it's already chaotic enough in the... Well, not chaotic, but you still can't tell who's friend and who's foe in the Royal Academy. The fact that the Sovereign Knight Commander is... They don't know yet. Well, they do know. But they kind of... There could still be deniability. Like, he could... There's still that gray area where he could just hide behind, like, say, like, oh, this was like part of the plan to trap the baddies. Like, I was just following orders. Like, they don't have that 100% certainty. So somebody has to make the call. And Dunkelfelger's like, you know what? Dunkelfelger at the end of the chapter, he's like, F that. I'm just gonna go. Forget all those other people. Gonna go attack. Gonna go defend. And get rid of all of these people because they're awful. And so yeah, I'm glad that I'm glad that there's somebody, a man of action, who is willing to not just go and fight the baddies, but, you know, he understands what it means if to getting involved. If worse comes to worse, he's gonna end up being Zent, and we see that Sieglinde, his wife, appears to be on board with that.
Oh, thank you.
Another thing about Sieglinde, by the way, is let's talk about when they're talking about the Adelgisa Villa and the Princess of Adelgisa. Well, excuse me, Dunkelfelger, how do you know the layout of the Adelgisa Palace and the entrances?
Naughty.
Nah, she was questioning is like, and how do you know how much mana she has?
Right. Oh boy. So, it is safe to say that he has partaken in the delights of the flowers of Schlaftrum in the Adelgisa Villa.
It's also safe to say that Ferdinand is really good with men.
Somebody actually put, oh man, it was a really funny and kind of dark meme, where I think it was on Reddit. You know, the one about like the cheating guy not the cheating guy, the guy that's looking at some other girl and his girlfriend's like looking at him like, what are you looking at? Well, the girlfriend is Sieglinde, and then he's looking back at the other girl. They labeled it Ferdinand's mom. Can you imagine that? Oh my goodness.
Oh, wait, I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's in Reddit.
Now I have flashbacks to American Pie with Stifler's mom.
No.
Well, Ferdinand doesn't really recognize her as his mom anyway.
I don't know how he recognizes her, or maybe I think he might.
I think he said. I think he said that when during one conversation when Rosamund was talking about family.
I think maybe he considers, like, he's talking, like, they keep mentioning it throughout the whole thing, this goddess of time thing, that's the reason why he's alive.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's because of this stupid person that I'm still here.
Oh.
So,
and I do remember when he was having his point of view when I think it was As You Wish or Follow Your Dreams or something like that. They renamed the chapter, and he says that he only met his mother once, and it was a woman like back in the Arogiza villa and said like, oh, you have to now live whatever as you wish. So I do think he considers the woman in the villa like maybe not emotionally attached, but like as a fact, like this is the person who gave birth to me, as mother. Quite, it's not it doesn't have the same emotional attachment as he has his father the old Ab Ehrenfest, where he knows that that's his father. He considers him as his father, the one that he made a promise to long ago. So it's different, but I do think he considers her like.
Didn't we had a view from Rosamund several books ago from the library in quotation marks that there's a room for a woman that came in Ehrenfest with Ferdinand, and Ferdinand kept that room because that's like his mother.
Yeah, I'm guessing that was maybe like some kind of caretaker. I don't know if that was like who it was. I don't know if it was Ermenhild, but I don't think so. Because Ermenhild was a different lady. That was his father's half sister, and who would have been Ferdinand's adoptive mother. So probably he came in with like some kind of attendant or something. I don't know how it happened. Probably we'll learn more about it. There's some other stuff in like in the future, I'm guessing, about Ferdinand, like more information about Ferdinand that it's not confirmed yet. So I think it's best if we don't delve into the past. But we do know that he is attached enough to his mother, or the memory of his mother, that he gets absolutely angry whenever somebody like dismisses like the suffering that went on in the Arogiza villa. Remember when Detland was saying like, oh well, those princesses, they should have negotiated for better treatment. And he's like, so are you saying that those princesses deserve the fate they got? So he takes it personally, like it's kind of like a personal issue with him. And when Detland cast his past to him, it kind of felt when Rosamund saw the vision, when Detland was like saying, oh, like Leonsu said, you're only a seed and you have to return to being a seed because you're an Elgis, whatever. I kind of felt like it kind of read that it was a very sensitive topic to him. So anything related to the princesses of Adelgisa is very, very, like, you can't
I actually am really weirded out by Adelgisa because
oh yeah,
why would you kill children that could be like, giving mana to different duchies? And and aren't these women like the reason why they're giving children or making stones is because they're Ami elementals and they're super powerful? So why can't they just kill all the guys?
It's because where they were born, not necessarily, and also because the princesses are technically royalty, that would make them princes as well, and have the possibility to become true Zens, so they had to be silenced.
Yeah, so it was like a political thing to get rid of the male children that would threaten the current Jürgen Smith royalty. And
she got that from Moses.
Yeah.
In our world, royalty didn't done similar things just because.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a political issue.
Yeah, for real. And like everything surrounding Adelgisa is it's very yucky and very disturbing. And so yeah, I am 100% agree. That place needs to be torn down. Wrecking ball, anyone? All right. Ferdinand's coming in like a wrecking ball. Okay. Okay.
Now I see Ferdinand on top of a wrecking ball.
Oh my goodness.
Swinging with his legs.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, for what we were just talking, Lucas de Souza in the YouTube chat says that he believes that necessity for magic stone resource.
Yes. So the women were, so the children were returned as magic stones. Yeah, as Ferdinand said in the past chapter, like the copy and paste chapter, or the chapter that's now forever will be known as the copy and paste chapter. They talked briefly about him and being ending up as a stone. They wanted to have like special kind of stone, so they would breed children for like special kind of properties, and then he was one of those children, so that when he became a face stone, his face stone would be perfectly balanced. So yeah.
Is this is Alagisa created before the before the religion was like pretty much put on the back burner, or was it created after?
Honestly, I don't know when, like,
Before.
when it was,
Because Tolkienheit was the one who left, and that was back when the Gudashite was still being passed on as a book of knowledge.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem. We haven't heard anything about you should turn children into face stones from the Book of Mystiora. So that's what I'm wondering.
I think they're doing it because they would take the face stones with them, so that they have more mana over there, I would guess.
Yeah, I would just like to know when the whole Lanzanave or whatever thing started, because it wasn't always like that.
No,
that was one of the brothers of the Zend in the past. I forgot his name, but this was while, if I'm remembering it correctly, that will be during the time that Archduke candidates still went to the temples.
By the way,
there were three Saint candidates essentially, and of the three, one of them who knew he was going to be chosen as the next true Zend decided to leave the country with his retinue, and they found this other country that didn't have any mana, so they decided to create a city with Antwicklon, and that's what created Lanzanov as a country.
Now, Thomas in the chat says, just wait until Rosamine learns that her Billa was to be the Adalgiza Billa. Oh, by the way, thank you for the super chat. And also, not just Rosamine, but Ferdinand. When is he gonna? Oh, man. He is gonna blow oh my gosh. If he learns
what
that...
benefit do they get from Lanzagate? Like what does Jurgen Smith get from them?
They're kind of like basically extorting them.
Like because
they
can just close the border and like I don't want to deal with these people anymore. So
Lanzanov is currently acting as a vassal state.
Yeah, but why?
Because because of
usually
their
you get
city.
something from it.
They can't their city can't survive without a stop wielding noble.
Yeah.
And the only way to get a stop is inside Jurgen Schmidt. So they're
what would be Jurgen Smith gain from letting Lanzanev do all the things and all the things, right?
Yeah, like I don't care if they have
they could pressure extremely like extortionary and like unbeneficial to Lanzanov trade agreements.
Yeah, but are those trade agreements worth going through all this? Like, can't they just close it off and say "F you"?
I would actually have to look into that. I think there may be something. There might not be something. It might just be like a stupid treaty that a king did. Because I think the king, like the guy that left to fund Lanzanave, he then returned kind of like begging because, oh my gosh, if I don't get any people, like my city will collapse. And then the king that was reigning, he's like, oh, I have pity on you, let us make this arrangement. So it was because of that old arrangement.
Because they're technically going against the gods.
Jurgen Smith has absolutely nothing to gain from this arrangement. They're just honoring this tradition. And that is why they have the power.
Going against the gods too, though.
Yeah, they have the power to. They have the power to cancel that at any point. So I don't know about they're going against the gods, honestly. But
isn't Jurgen Smith the gods? It's their toy, the thing that they created. I don't think they want other things coming into it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about the gods later. We'll talk about the gods later. Yeah, because we might be straying into other territory that might be spoilery, and it'll go in the future. We'll talk about more about this because we're barely scratching the surface when it comes to Lanzanave and relationships with that. So yeah. By the way, I wanted hold on a sec. I wanted to recognize and thank Magister Tenebris for the super chats. Thank you. It's your very first super chat, so you have a lot of hearts. It says in response to the Face Stone talk about the eugenics and making perfect face stone, says perfect overpowered face stone if you would be so kind. Owie. All right, Vincent, what's up?
Was there not something that Jürgen Schmidt gets for princesses from the village?
Yeah, because they get princesses, but there's no shortage of women in Jürgen Smith.
But they got more royalty. Now we have one. But they will basically more royal blood.
So I will read to you all the stuff that on YouTube, and actually take your pick. David Batley says foreign cloth. Philip A. Demick says sugar. Kodohime says sugar goes too hard. Sugar is important. It's basically a drug to your brain. Stone says they get spices and other things they don't produce. Akihana says they get female royals from Lanzanave. D Goods, in a very colloquial way, says booty, high-end booty. Turashmak says sugar, also known as white gold. The wealth generated by sugar was the big reason for the New World slavery. True. Sugar and spice, says Red Tempest. David Batley says it is the only open country gate, but that's the case only right now. Before, when the Zents had the Gudr's Hide, they would open all the gates, well, except the Ehrenfest gate, because they were and that the other end they had traders, but all the other ones they were able to open them and close. It just has been a decade or so since the country gates were opened. But yeah, it's it's important. Anyway, so D Goots corrects his language and says flowers. Yes, flowers. It's too late. We already read the first one, but okay, flowers will give you a chance. So yeah, but yeah, it's important that you bring up, I guess, the women situation. I honestly don't think that they had a shortage of women in Jürgen Smith, but I guess that's, I don't know. That could be
Lanzanave got women from Jürgen Smith, because you're saying it's like UK and America. The people in the US split from Great Britain and came over here. So technically they are part of Britain biologically. They have it. You know what I mean? That's what I thought was going on, that they broke away and they went to Lanzanave and created their own country. And Jürgen Smith has no choice but to support them because they're still their people.
It's not quite that way, though. There's Jürgen Smith is basically America. Lanzanave is basically America. They're a totally different country, totally different king. So
they could just ignore them if they wanted to.
Again, it's all because of a tradition that a king took pity on the guy. They formed this treaty. You do this for us, and we will send you women for princesses. And if those women have girls, you get to keep the girls. And if the women have boys, we get to keep the face stones and one boy. That was basically the treaty. So...
I was under the impression that the girls went back to Lanzanave.
No, they became
the boys were executed but sent back as face stones.
No, the girls were kept as princesses in Jürgen
Only
Smith.
one person ever got sent back.
Yeah.
Also, when Rosamine, the part 4, was learning about the laws, she asked Ferdinand why don't they have more strict laws, more clear-cut laws in the country. And Ferdinand explained that it's tradition, and one king tried to make laws like this. So on that logic that Ferdinand explained, probably the king that made the deal, the brother of the Scandinavian king, and he just written into a law, and it's simply changed. Not that they get anything new from them.
Yeah. So let's put aside the Lanzanabe and all that stuff conversation, because I think it's gotten like a half hour of airtime, and we haven't really finished talking about the other topics in the PrePub. I think though that it's a really good discussion, and I loved it, and I could go on, but we do have to move on. But thank you for that information. That like really good conversation about Lanzanabe and the historical stuff. There'll be much more. I promise you, there'll be more in the future. I promise you. We can definitely, and with added information, we'll be able to piece together a better picture of the Jürgen Schmidt-Lanzanabe relationship historically.
Yes, we need to talk how thirsty Hartmut was for a blessing.
Dude! And Leonor he was like, I will sleep with you, lady. And then Leonor's like, phrasing, Cornelius, phrasing.
Phrasing Hartmut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Hartmut that said that.
I know, but Leonor was the one that said like, "What's your phrasing, Hartmut?"
Yeah, I think Hartmut would sleep in the room with her though.
Oh, he would.
I think he would. I mean, maybe not on the same bed, but he would sleep in the room with her. And totally be happy about it.
No, Hartmut would just drink potions to stay awake, just so he could watch her sleep.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he would be like. He would be like those kids that watch their parents sleep.
Sleeping in his lady's legs, just like a cat, and purring.
No, he would be like those creepy kids that watch their parents sleep.
Oh.
No. First, Hartmut would learn how to prepare her bed and to set the room and stuff.
Basically, attendant stuff.
Yes, and then if the bed is perfect, he would be, "Lady Rosamine, please."
He would pull a Justus.
Oh. He's so OCD for mine.
Stand on the bed and stare, and Rosamund is so, "Can you please go away?" And then he will sit down in a chair near the bed.
Too bad for him, it's not Rosamund who gives him his blessing, but it is actually Ferdinand. It's like, I want to think that Ferdinand's like, how dare you even think that you can get Rosamund to make you go to sleep? No, learn your place.
Can you imagine what happens if for example,
you should know your place, you can.
Imagine if somebody blesses you, you get a dream from this person.
Yeah, I think
dream about Ferdinand.
Oh,
I think Ferdinand took pity on her because she's like, I already had to take this guy's stone.
Good.
Don't make me bless him.
By the way, when crazy, you get the dreams from the person that gives you the blessing. What did Ferdinand dream about? Making come as Rosamine?
You know what? It's up for debate. Like, what did Ferdinand dream about? You guys can
transfer.
Yeah.
Pretty much what was going on.
You guys, if you want to know my take on it, I actually wrote a fanfic on it. So it's called Schlaftrum's Blessing. It's on AO3. Word of note though, do not read past the second chapter because it has web novel spoilers. But it's 3 chapters. It's a good one in my opinion. It was my very first fanfic, and it won a little competition that we had, so it won an award. Yay!
Ooh.
So yeah, check it out. I will leave the link on the description just because I can. I'm gonna get a new tab.
Any NSFW content in it?
No. No, it's rated T. It's for teens.
Not that one.
Yeah,
Not that one. Much to your disappointment, right? Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called
The other one's
Schlaftrum's
better.
Blessing. I think I'm projecting it. Yeah. There it is.
It's a good one. It's a good one, yeah.
I think it's a good one, but I may be biased. So,
I liked it. I read it, so.
it's just my take. However, we weren't really given, as far as I know, we don't know what he dreamt. There may be like canon answer to this. If any web novel or anybody knows about it, then feel free to let me know. All right. So we had that. We had the people falling asleep here and there. We also have Rosamine and her fish. Again, I think that's the only thing they're going to be feeding her from now on.
Oh goodness, the fish.
But it also says that the fishermen were so thankful to Rosamine that they sent fish for her. So I think that this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship for Rosamine and the fishermen of Arensback. Because and I'm happy for her.
Now.
I'm happy for her for sure. Oh,
she's gonna get her fish now forever.
Found it interesting.
Also, we have.
Here's one thing.
I am showing on YouTube the meme, Ferdinand's mom,
Yes.
and let's see. Akihana says, in my mind, Ferdinand dreamt of doing research with Rosamine. Oh yes, of course. Also,
The plant.
yeah, right.
Not
Also, And then Jenny M says the subject change was suspicious. Because we do remember when she's like, "What did you dream about?" He's like, "Nothing of importance." Now, let's talk about the preparations. And I have a feeling that I'm kind of like a little bit disappointed because in the web novel, like, there's like a little ellipses before he kind of like answers or something like there's a little pause before. And I feel like it was there in the in the web novel. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I have a feeling it was there. I also.
Yeah. So
there was a pause.
now I need to go look for the web novel version. But anyway, I'll do it later. Jenny M says also, I am glad I'm not the only one who thought Ferdy dreamed about her favorite gremlin, and yeah.
I have a feeling it's kind of implied.
Yeah. Now, David Bentley says, is it actually rated T for teens, or is it noble euphemism smut? Oh, come on. Take a chance.
I don't think it went like we all think it did, because Ferdinand's not really sexual either. So,
Yeah.
but that whole feeling of something going into you like that, when they did the transfer, it can be really it's like an IV. You feel it all.
It could awaken new parts of himself. I think it awoke some new issues.
I would guess Ferdinand is dreaming of doing all his work and all his research, and when Rosamines comes in with breakfast.
Aww.
Because this is
that's so wholesome. That's wholesome.
Yeah, this is the dream of every guy. The woman is when say, hey, I know there's a football game. I have already turned on the TV, and here's your beer, and go and watch it.
Oh my! Okay, taking note. All the single ladies, take note. That is a guy's fantasy. Taking note. Write it down.
Hashtag not all.
Not all. My husband's not like that at all. He hates sports.
I mean, the football
just your favorite activity. Your favorite activity, right?
We need in the soundboard something like praising.
Phrasing. All right. So we have hashtag fish for the saints, says Jenny M. For real. And Kodo Hime says they probably just held hands in the dream. You know what? That's actually wholesome for our world, naughty in their world. So it could actually be what happened.
Yeah, but they've been holding hands this whole time right now.
Yeah, but this is a different holding hands now.
Maybe it's a musical.
Maybe I should just spray myself a little. There we go.
There you go.
Well, Rosemine's little romance light novel that she wrote, where the characters just essentially just blush at each other and held hands, was called Split by Ferdinand. So that's totally possible. And he came back from reading that novel that she wrote flustered and told her to burn it.
Yeah.
So whatever she wrote in there actually had an effect on him. So he's not immune to it.
Well, he was. I read that he was more angry about it than he was like flustered. He was like shameful. Oh my gosh, why is this thing doing this?
Shame.
He was masquerading his flushiness.
So the thing is, he remembers so many things from her past. He remembers this stuff about Cinderella. I hazard to say he remembers word for word that other lewd story.
Well, maybe
it manifested in his dreams or something.
Yeah. One thing I'm really starved for in this story was just like them talking about the other world.
Oh yeah. He sometimes mentions this as the other place. Okay, Jess, what was it?
Yeah, I think he saw like a lot in the other world. Remember they were in the bathtub together?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he has no like he doesn't know. He doesn't know what he feels.
Well,
this was different.
Well, he experienced being in a bathtub from Rosemine Urano's point of view in the time. So I'm pretty sure you girls, it's not like you can look at yourselves down there quite clearly. So he probably didn't see all that much.
I know the anime showed her, but I wonder if she turned into herself, like her actual Japanese self.
My headcanon is that it was her Japanese self. It was her Japanese self. Yeah.
So that's probably how Ferdinand really sees her, because I guess maybe that's in her soul, and he felt all that. He felt like she's an adult.
Yeah, I like the manga had drawn her as like she's splashing as a kitty in a tub. I'm like, no. The way I saw it, he was seeing like shapely, long adult woman legs in the bath, and he was like, "What the hell?" That's why he was all like. Yeah.
Yeah, because he undressed her all the time as a kid, so to check her up. So
but he saw her when she was frail and like, in her
only once did he undress her, and even then only took off one of her shirts and not her underlying shirt.
Yeah, so he didn't undress her. He just like he did see her when she was in bed lying about in her PJs and stuff like that. But then he saw her when
examination? What about the medical examination in the beginning of part 3?
Yeah, that one. But that was like an exception to like him like unbuttoning her and then he telling her like, okay, go over there and do it yourself then if you don't want me to do it.
I think he sees her like a doctor sees a patient.
Yeah, for real. So by the way, Magister Tenebris, thank you again for the support. Says after that magical HJ from last chapter. Oh my gosh, who wouldn't dream that? But think he had to shut up Eustace for real. Yeah, I think the copy and paste definitely had something to do with the dreams. Yeah.
But let's stay away from this so that we don't go back into that tangent.
Yeah. Let's. By the way, if we're on tangents, I am pushing my merch. If you haven't heard about it, here's your chance.
Yes, the beautiful merch of the beautiful merch. Elvira.
Yes, it is.
Elvira.
Yeah, Elvira.
Of love.
So I have sticker. Actually, I am gonna get the Spread the Love notebook. I already have like 2 notebooks from my merch, but I actually like this one because it has on one side it has the Elvira, and then on the other side it has heart patterns. So, ladies or any writers out there, it's there if you want fanfic writers. There you go. Write your first fanfics in this. Make sure it's for my. Also, check out the Digisoft printed. I have the regular t-shirts, but also the Digisoft is the ones that the printing is better quality than the original classic ones. So do check them out, Digisoft, okay? And also my favorite is the mug. I ordered it just like 2 days ago for a sample, and it's on its way. I am gonna make it. I just got it in classic white, but you can get it in pink. It's basically the wraparound color is different. So there you go.
It's really pretty.
It's really nice.
And they're really good mugs.
Yeah.
I need to get it.
And of course, there's the totes. All right. So, is there any other thing about these chapters that we want to talk about? Because I think after the
ask.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to ask because I wasn't here during most of it. Did you guys talk about Abdunkelfelger and the Ablakisa stuff that happened?
Yes, we did.
I wasn't here, so I have no idea what you guys said during that. But goodness, the way Siegland reacted.
Yeah, she gave him the side eye. Oh, and there was a moment of kind of like Ferdinand jumping in. Yeah, and Ferdinand jumping in to kind of like smooth things out because it got really awkward. So yay for Ferdinand, who just masterful at politics, and also yay for and yay for Siegland, who just was not did not start a marital spat right there and then. I know people who would have started a marital spat right there and then. I'll be like, no, this is not the place or the time.
Dude, in their world, this is accordingly normal. You just don't talk about it.
The last chapter. In the last chapter, towards the end, it was like a role reversal because Ferdinand would have made her go in the past, and in this case, she's brave enough now that she's like, I have to go, and he's like, it's okay, I'll do everything for you. So it was just a really strange role reversal between these two.
Yeah. Yes. Also, there was that line that he said, like he was like, I will be working, I will be the shadows, you be the light. I was like, oh my gosh, like it's like
when did this suddenly turn into
Sailor Moon? I didn't see
right?
I didn't see it probably the way you did, and that's because the line when they talk about Sylvester, she's like, I'm not Sylvester. I'm not going to use you like Sylvester. I am your partner, not your slave owner.
No, yeah, but see, that's what I like, the fact that he's like, I will be your shadow, you will be the light. It's like the supreme gods, they are perfect complement. So he's kind of like positioning himself as, I'm gonna work with you like as a complementary, as a team, not as like master servant. Like I want to, like we're on equal terms. If I help you, it's not about you piling stuff onto me as Sylvester would. And I really love that. I was like, oh, so smooth. And guess what? I'm sure it just went over Rosamind's head. And I'm like, what a waste of smoothness, honestly. Oh my gosh.
Honestly, that was so cute and adorable and like ship moments in my head.
I also mean, shadow is quite close to darkness.
True.
He could also literally say, I'm your king of darkness.
Yeah.
He was saying,
that was very close. Yes.
Yeah. Anything else about these chapters that we want to point out?
In the first chapter, I can't believe that she attributes the way Ferdinand is acting to Detland. When she's like, oh, he's escorting me so well, I guess the time here with Detland wasn't so bad. It's like, no.
She tried to kill him.
Yeah. So
during that whole part, I was in the chat saying like, "Oh, we need more Detland," and
yeah, I choosing to ignore that delusions. I'm sorry, darling. You need some check there. But
need some help.
So I also like that. I'm glad you brought it up because I like the fact that she thinks that he learned because of Detland. But no, he's doing this for your sake. He learned for your sake. He's doing this for your sake, not because it's now a practice move. No. This is something that he wants to do. He wants to escort you and hold your hand as
he's
you take
his
places.
Territory.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not putting thoughts in his head right now?
No, he definitely hadn't. Like, in all honesty.
Is this your inner fangirl coming out?
Didn't
always is.
Kind of.
After he put Rosemine to sleep, didn't he carry her?
No, I think it was
Yes.
one of her attendants
No,
that
it
carried
was her
her.
attendants, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it would have looked good
Mm-hmm.
The
for him
knights,
to carry.
Cornelius probably, honestly.
Cornelius, Leonore, one of them. They could just use
Leonore.
enhancement. Maybe even
I feel so bad for
Angelica.
Cornelius.
Could have been
Oh,
Angelica.
Cornelius.
Actually, yeah, Angelica.
It would have been Cornelius.
That poor man.
Cornelius
it
is
would be-
trying his best to be a good brother, but it's just not
It
happening.
would be a woman. It would be a woman. A man cannot enter her.
That is
bedchambers.
true. Yeah, it was. Yeah, then it was probably Angelica who's really good at body
Yeah.
enhancements by now. And remember, I think Angelica carried one of the Lanzanibian attackers in the temple. Carried her not single-handedly, but at least she was able to like dispatch him quite easily.
Yep.
So I don't think carrying a small-framed woman would be any issue at all for her.
I was wondering if her
definitely not.
sword was talking to her during the entire battle.
Probably.
Like, was her sword telling her she was an idiot? Like, you missed that person.
Nah, I don't think so. I think she.
No,
I
that's
kind
when
of think
she
that
teaches.
a talking sword while she's moving like lightning would be detrimental to her fighting style. So I think the sword is silent on the whole. It just speaks when it's trying to correct her. But she's
During
a killing
practices and
machine
stuff like that.
in the field, like in the battle. She is unstoppable. I don't think she needs guidance from.
Yeah, but the sword
Stanley's.
didn't say anything when they asked her about Rosemine and Ferdinand and the whole thing that was going on, their power thing. So, I don't know. Does she have the sword?
Yes,
She
has the
does, but
sword
she
and
didn't
we
use it
already know-
for fighting Lanzanibians.
Yeah.
But we also know that
you don't want to start that again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we don't want to start that again.
She doesn't put mana into it.
Yeah. All right.
I wish we heard that sword
By the
talk
way,
again.
highlighting
Yeah.
Mestianor.
By the way, I
Patrick
want
is in the
to.
chat.
I was gonna talk about highlighting Miss Theonora. Patrick says just got in here at the tail end. At least I caught you semi-live. Patrick, thank you so much for highlighting the chapters as always, and for your super chat. I'm sending you lots of hearts, and thank you for your support as always.
Patrick,
We are missing
you
the
did your
chapter.
best.
You did very good. Even though we didn't manage to get to the third chapter, we're debating whether to do the first or the third chapter, and then the decision was made easy because we didn't have the third chapter highlighted, but that's totally okay. First chapter was really fun as well.
It's a great chapter.
It was. So I think that should cover most of the stuff in the pre-pub. Again, I'm sorry you guys for the late start and the technical issues. We've been trying our best. Hopefully it won't happen again, but I can't promise you anything. That's what it comes down to. Again, thank you to Fergie who helped me resolve the situation. Thank you, Fergie. Anything else you guys want to say before we end today's chit chat?
Oh yeah, I really want to know from Jazz. How do you join our Discord or Magpie's Discord?
Oh yeah, how do you
Ask your new member.
I always was on. It's just I was on through my TV, my smart TV. So
If this is the wrong answer, it was a prompt for a plug. So you could say join the coffee and stuff.
yeah, I was just
So
really,
now Magpie has to do it.
I was really annoyed that I couldn't hear her, so I was like, fine, I'll do it. So I was like, fine, whatever.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Actually, this group is kind of my therapy, so.
Well, I'm glad that you joined us at last because, you know, we're all a bunch of barrel-loving, wild people here on the Discord chat. By the way, I changed the official name of the memes channel to Barrel Memes, so I hope you guys appreciate that.
No, I don't. I hate it. I don't want it.
All right. So anyway, you guys, if you want to join us, you can do so by joining, by becoming a monthly supporter on my Ko-fi. It only takes $5 a month, or if you want to be special and have my undying thankfulness, you can become a Zent, and that gives you certain privileges, I suppose. But either way, if you're a member, you get a lot of benefits for it. I don't know. I think it's
You get a lot of good time with the Discord gang.
Yes, and we're gonna have
always on here.
Yeah, Yeah. So anyway, you guys, be on the lookout for the next read along for the light novels sometime this week. I'm gonna be a little busy, so I may only be able to do one because I'm trying to edit the Valentine's special, so it's taking me some time. Be on the lookout for that, and thank you for joining me today. Thank you, gang, also, and to all of the YouTube peeps for joining today. So until the
We
next
love
time, you
you.
guys. Yes, we love you. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
chat.
Bye bye.
Mwah.
Nadia.
Yeah.